My greetings to everyone. I am Professor Namita Rajput, Professor in Department of Commerce, Sri Aurobindo College, University of Delhi. In the ongoing series of entrepreneurship and venture planning, today we are going to talk on business plan. Now, in today's dynamic and competitive business environment, it is no longer sufficient for the entrepreneurs to rely solely on the hard work and the traditional business practices. The business world is evolving rapidly due to the technological advancements, changing customer preferences, globalization and market competition. Therefore, the entrepreneurs must adopt a very structured and a strategic approach to ensure the success and the sustainability of their ventures. So, a key component of this structured approach is the development of a business plan. A business plan acts as a roadmap, guiding entrepreneurs in managing their operations effectively and adapting to the changes in the marketplace. It allows the entrepreneurs to set very clear objectives, design strategies, allocate resources effectively and efficiently, and also measure the progress over time. So, in short, we can say a business plan helps transform an idea into a viable business enterprise by providing a clarity on every aspect of the business. Now, what is a business plan? A business plan is a formal written document that outlines the goals of a business, the strategy for achieving them, and the resources required to bring the plan to the life. So, it is not an option or a luxury reserved only for the large corporations. It is equally essential for the small business, startups and individual enterprises. Now, according to Robinson, a business plan is a blueprint for building, expanding a business. It is a written document articulating what is the business opportunity, why the opportunity exists, what strategy, actions and resources are required to seize it, and why the new venture team has what it takes to execute the plans. Now, this particular definition emphasizes that a business plan serves multiple purposes. It identifies the business opportunity and explains why it is attractive. It provides a strategic framework for the action. It also helps in acquiring and allocating some necessary resources. It also outlines the competencies of the business team which is responsible for executing the plan. Now, coming on to the purpose and the significance of a business plan. A well-structured business plan serves as a guide for the decision making and planning, a communication tool to attract the investors, lenders or partners, a performance monitoring tool to track the progress against the goals, and also a risk management tool to anticipate the challenges and prepare the mitigation strategies. Now, coming on to the key elements explained, the why, how and when of a business plan. A why of a business plan is the section which focuses on the justification of the business idea and its potential in the market. Who will buy the venture's products? It identifies the target customers or the market segments. It also highlights the consumer behavior, the demographics, the preferences and also the needs. Now, coming on to why. Why will they buy the venture's products? It explains the value proposition and the unique selling points, that is the USP of the product or the service. It also emphasizes how the product solves a problem or fulfills a need. Why will the customers pay a price that ensures the profits for the entrepreneur? It demonstrates the pricing strategies which are aligned with the consumer willingness to pay. It also shows the cost benefit analysis and how the product delivers the value for money. Now coming on to the how of a business plan. Now this particular section, it deals with the strategies and also the resources planning which are needed to make the business operational. So the first thing what you require is the resources. You need first instance the human resources, the skilled personnel, management team, technical staff, etc. Besides human resources, you need the production resources, that is machinery, raw material, production, technology, logistics. Next is your managerial resources. So besides having the first concept, that is the resources required, we need the production, managerial, financial. So let us explain it one by one. When you talk about the production resources, we need the machinery, the raw material, the technology, the production technology, and also most importantly the logistics. Coming on to the managerial resources, we need the business leadership, planning capabilities, organizational structure. Coming on to the financial resources, that is the startup capital, operating capital, funding sources, and also the cash flow management. Now, what is the future cost estimation? The detailed cost analysis include the fixed and the variable cost, the cost forecasting for the short term and the long term operations, the break-even analysis and the profitability estimation. Now coming on to the part C. Yes, we are talking about when of a business. What, when, how. So now is the time to dwell into the when of the business plan. This particular section defines the timeline and also the financial planning for the business. The first and the foremost what we are going to discuss is the timing of the key events, the business launch date, the product development schedule, the marketing rollouts, the milestones for funding, partnership expansion, etc. Now coming on to the financial projections, the revenue forecast, the profit and loss projections, the balance sheet and the cash flow statements, the break-even analysis, the return on investments and other financial indicators, the scenario analysis for the best case, the average case and the worst case conditions. Now we can come on to the conclusion of this part. A business plan is more than just a document. It is the foundation of any business venture. It provides a comprehensive picture of how the business plan will operate and grow, and also achieve its objectives in a competitive environment. Whether it's a startup seeking the funding or an established enterprise planning expansion, a business plan acts as a strategic compass that aligns the vision and also its execution. Now coming on to a very vital part of the business plan, that is its importance. A business plan is a very comprehensive document that highlights and outlines the vision, that is what is going to be the future, the goals and the objectives and the strategies what we have to achieve, the structure, the operations and the financial projections of a business. It serves as a roadmap which gives a direction for both the new and the existing enterprise. The importance of a business plan can be explained as follows. The first and the most important part when you talk about a business plan importance is it gives substance to the vision of setting up of a new enterprise. A business idea remains abstract until it is translated into a well thought out business plan. The plan provides a structure to the entrepreneur's vision by detailing each aspect of the business, from the mission and the objectives to the market analysis and also the operations. Let's do the example here. Suppose an entrepreneur wants to start an organic juice company. A business plan would define the mission, that is promoting a healthy through organic beverages, target the customers, for example, the health conscious urban dwellers, the distribution strategy, for example, an online sales and retail outlets, and expected revenue and also the expenses. It provides a mechanism for effective functioning. Now, when you talk about the importance of a business plan, which is providing a mechanism for the effective functioning of the organization, it enables the owners, the managers, and also the employees to work cohesively towards the shared goals. It assigns the role, outlines the process, and establishes a benchmark to ensure the smooth operations. Let's supplement this with an illustration here. In a garment manufacturing business, the business plan will detail the procurement, production, quality control, sales and delivery mechanisms, and this coordinated structure enhances the teamwork and the clarity in the responsibilities. Now, coming on to the third and the most important part when you talk about the importance of the business plan is it helps recognize and assesses the business opportunities and the risk. A business plan compels the entrepreneur to study the market trends, competition, customer preferences, and the potential risk. This helps in proactively planning the responses to both opportunities and also the challenges. Let's take an example here. A tech startup analyzing the trends in the AI-based educational app can recognize the growing demand amongst the students. The business plan will also include the risk assessment like data privacy concerns or the market saturation. Now, coming on to the use purpose of a business plan. Now, a business plan is not just a tool for starting a business. It serves the multiple purposes across the different stages of a business life cycle. Now, here it is. The first and the foremost point is starting the business. A business plan is very critical in the startup phase as it gives a very clear direction and the purpose. It answers the fundamental questions as follows: what business am I in? What products or services am I offering? Who are my competitors? And what is my marketing strategy? A good business plan will help eliminate the confusion and it also aligns the efforts towards the main business goal. Now, here we will explain it through an example. A bakery owner starting a home-based cake business will define the niche, that is the customized birthday cakes, and analyze the competitors, other home bakers, and set the pricing strategy and identify the marketing channels like Instagram or food delivery apps. Now, the second and the most important point is how do we expand the business? When the business plans to grow, a business plan helps elevate, evaluate when to expand, that is what is the particular timing, how fast to expand, that is we are talking about here the growth rate, in which areas to expand, that is if you are expanding the business, what new locations you are targeting, what new markets you are targeting, and what are the new products you are targeting. Without such planning, expansion may lead to cover the commitment or the market failures. So, here there is a very vital example to discuss. A restaurant planning to open a new branch must analyze the foot traffic, the local competition, and also the cost projections for each new locality. The business plan helps to decide whether to grow via franchising or company-owned outlets. The third important point is developing the new products. To stay competitive, the business must innovate and diversify. A business plan supports these initiatives by conducting the market research, the customer feedback analysis, and forecasting the potential profitability. Now, let's take an example here also. A mobile phone company which is planning to launch a new smartphone model will prepare a business plan that includes the product features, the cost of production, the target price, the competitor analysis, and the marketing strategy. Now, coming on to obtaining funds, investors and banks, they want assurance that their money is being invested in a viable, well-managed business. A comprehensive business plan showcases the financial model, the return on investment projections, the risk management strategies, and the potential for the long-term growth. Now, let's illustrate with an example. A solar panel manufacturer seeking a bank loan will use a business plan to highlight the market potential, the government subsidies for the green energy, cost estimates, and the revenue forecast. This builds the lender a confidence in the business. The next vital important point is supporting the management decisions. The business plan provides a valuable data that helps the management in important, vital issues as far as the decision making is concerned. And it includes the following. The first is your SWOT analysis. We are talking about internal and external mechanism, which includes the internal strengths where the company is strong. It talks about the weakness where it is weak, the opportunities what it has, and the threats what it is facing. And also we are talking about the performance indicators, which shows that at what level the company is performing, on what indicators we are going to judge that whether it is performing well or not. And also the resource allocation, that where to put what kind of a resource, and it is vital. This enables the managers to take an informed decision aligned with the organizational goals. A logistic company may use its business plan to decide whether to invest in more vehicles or improve its tracking software depending on the market demands and the financial feasibility. Now, the sixth important point when you talk about it is maintaining control and the performance monitoring. A business plan will act as a control mechanism, allowing a comparison between the actual results and the expected targets, the sales, the profit margins, the cost, etc. It supports the performance evaluation and the course correction. Let's take an example here. If a cafe projected monthly sales of 1 lakh rupees but achieved only 75,000, the business plan will help trace the deviations, whether it was due to a poor marketing seasonal trends or the operational inefficiencies, and take the corrective actions. Now, the conclusion of this part is that a well prepared business plan is very vital document at each and every stage. That is, when you start a business, when it is at the inception stage, and the funding to expansion and the performance monitoring. It also helps the entrepreneurs think strategically, operate systematically, adapt dynamically to change the environment. Ultimately, it reduces the uncertainty and increases the likelihood of the business success. Now, let us move on to a very important topic called the outline of a business plan. Business plan is prepared after a deep study, after doing feasibility study, which supports the setting up of the enterprise. It is a very time consuming process to prepare a business plan. It may take a couple of weeks to even the years. The entrepreneurs put a lot of efforts in making the business plan. The efforts are compensated by the benefits once the business is in operations. It serves as a useful test of an entrepreneur's patience, resilience, diligence, determination. Though every business plan is a different plan, but depending on who prepared it is different. Depending upon the conditions, depending upon every general circumstances, certain sections, elements which are common to all business plans. So, we will discuss these one by one. The outline of a business plan has first the title page. Now, this is the first page of a business plan that contains the essential identification details. That is, what is the name of a business? Let's say example, we take it as Fresh Bloom Organic Farms. What is the address of the business? For example, we are taking the address of Pune, 12 Green Valley Road, Pune. The phone number, the founder and the owner address, their names. Now coming on to a very vital part. When we outline the business plan, besides all this, we have to focus on the purpose for which we are starting this business venture. It helps the lenders who are going to pitch in the money, who are going to lend the money to you, the investors who are going to pitch the investments, the supplier who is going to give the supplies of the raw material, the other stakeholders which are quickly identifiable and contact the business. Now, when you talk about the outline of a business plan, it is a very important thing as this is supporting us to start the business. If the feasibility report is not supporting, then there is no force which can push for an entrepreneur to start his venture. Be it a bakery shop, be it a cloud kitchen, be it a manufacturing, we need a very positive and pushing feasibility study which is showing all the evidences to start their business. So, definitely all the efforts should be made before we start a startup, before starting the operations, before starting a kickstart for your venture. It is vital to have a deep feasibility study in front of you which gives a very clear picture. It also shows the figure for the entrepreneur in terms of the patient, diligence, determination, and through every business plan we can understand they are different, its nature is different, its factors are different, the person who prepares is different, their background is different, their education is different, their circumstances are different. So, definitely it contains certain sections or elements which are common to all business plans. So, we have to see and do that part in detail to make a difference. Thank you very much.